Most important subject in these 2 days, the sustainability, and how, overall, we are sort of looking at capitalizing on the whole supply chain piece and all talking about what sustainability means in the whole value chain. So we've got a little report on it. I'm not going to spend too much time given that everybody's probably in a rush to get back. So I'm just going to talk briefly about what we've sort of covered in this report, which is clearly around, in my view, in terms of where we see things going with sustainability and the whole value add for the supply chain. I think that sustainability is likely to be the new disruption for the next decade. It's already having a major impact in the West. I think in India, it's still on the cards coming along. In the next few years, I think we will see a lot more traction on it. And it will really change the way, I think, in India especially, the way companies will source, produce, and supply, and the way consumers are going to consume products and reward companies. So I think this is a really important element in terms of as we build the supply chain of the future. Oops. So I think what we sort of look at it in terms of the sustainable part and need for a sustainable supply chain, what are the things it really addresses? One is it's sort of talking about addressing the global challenges, which is around climate change, water quality and quantity, ecosystem breakdown, energy prices, and basically forced labor, looking at all the labor issues relating to it. And in terms of business advantage, why it's important, what the benefit for retailers and companies is. And we've sort of, based on a survey that was done recently, almost 95% of retailers feel that it has a huge impact on display innovation. About 45–50% feel it has a huge impact on opening up new markets, channels, ways in which consumers are consuming products. It has a huge impact on risk management, brand marketing, customer satisfaction, scored about 66% from the retail survey. So it talks about a lot of the areas where the sustainable supply chain is going to have a huge impact. Again, looking at the key drivers for supply chain sustainability: internal management commitment, effective risk management, cost reduction. Looking at on the right side, external regulatory environment, customers, innovation for evolving markets. I think especially around the consumption habits, competitive advantages, and also technological innovation is driving that. I mean, the sustainable, in terms of the approach that a company needs to have, I think one of the, if you just look at the building blocks for building what we call your VSS, your supply chain, value-added supply chain and sustainable supply chain is going to be, firstly, you have to, building internal support. Secondly, establishing objectives, which are your business goals, operational goals, social goals, and your environmental goals. Building up from there to supply chain, mapping the entire supply chain, going up to looking at supplier engagement, especially with SMEs. The biggest obstacle for building sustainable supply chain is with the SMEs who don't have a lot of funds to invest in looking at sustainable methods, and so enabling them, then industry collaboration, and then monitoring and evaluation. Where we are seeing in terms of your voluntary sustainable standards, which are basically, while they may have started in the West from the OECD countries, we see a lot more companies in India now sort of engaging with it and all sort of rapidly evolving, and this is being driven by building competitive business environment, basically also looking at, more and more companies looking at a sustainable practices. They have best practices within the company. There are divisions that are driving that. And what this has done basically, and a lot of it, what it's doing is while a lot of it is still driven by MNCs, big companies who are driven because of scale, who are able to implement it, who have the vision, who have the capability to doing it, we're also seeing a lot of medium and small enterprises starting to look at more sustainable methods, because not only it helps them reduce costs and be more efficient, but it also helps them connect better with their new customers, the younger consumers, the millennials, who all want to know how is the product getting to the shelf, how is it made, what's the traceability, is it safe for me to eat, has it been produced not by child labor but by regular labor, does it conform, all of this stuff. This is going to become very, very important in the next few years in India, and that's why I think this is going to be a big disruption in the industry. And again, what we are seeing from a monitoring perspective, if I look at the top 100 companies in India, almost 100% compliance. While that may be, some of it may be from a regulatory point of view, but it's also showing that the overall compliance on sustainability by corporate India is getting higher and higher. higher. In terms of next steps, what we are looking at, one is dedicated management effort, to drive it, focus on sustainable sourcing by procuring through, accredited suppliers, usage of comprehensive, global frameworks for reporting it, also communicating sustainability requirements and supporting them, especially SMEs, integrated to technological control measures so that you are linking it up so that from a technology perspective, it's throwing up where the conformity is not there. And then capability development, to me, this is very, very important. Capability development in the entire value chain. Yeah. So really, that's really my bit. We're going to just quickly release the report, which you guys can take back with you, and then I'm just going to call the panelists up. Please stick around for it. Very, very esteemed panelists, great group of guys and a lady from very, very acclaimed background. So I think it'll be a good session. Thank you.